It's January 12th, 2026. Welcome to YesToHellWith.com. In the previous videos, I explained why most people lose. Fear causes people to respond too quickly. The system begins with presumption, not proof. And once the wrong response is made, sequencing no longer matters. Now we'll address the practical question everyone eventually faces. What is the correct response when an agency claims you owe something? Silence is not a strategy by itself. Silence is a temporary position. Silence means you do not respond before an obligation is clearly asserted. It is used to avoid accepting presumptions that have not yet been proven. But silence does not last forever. Silence ends when an agency makes a direct claim that you owe something or are required to act. At that point, silence without response can be treated as acceptance. That is where people fail. They either speak too early or they stay silent too long. When silence ends, a response is required. And at that moment, how you respond matters more than what you say. There are three possible forms of a response. You can make a statement, you can issue a denial, or you can ask a question. Statements add information to the record. Denials assume a valid claim already exists. Both forms accept authority before it has been proven. The only form of response that does not do that is a question. A question does not admit liability. A question does not accept jurisdiction. A question does not confirm authority. A question requires the agency to prove what it is assuming. That is why the first response must be a question, not an explanation and not a denial. The first questions must force the agency to identify four things: who is acting, under what authority they act, over whom that authority applies, and what law creates the claimed obligation. Until those elements are clearly stated, there is no verified obligation. And without an established obligation, there is nothing to rebut. This is how records are actually created. Not by truth, not by fairness, not by emotion. Records are created by sequence. If an agency asserts an obligation and that assertion is not challenged, it becomes the foundation of the record. Everything that follows is built upon it. That is why early responses matter more than later arguments. Here is the rule stated plainly. Do not respond to pressure. Respond only to a stated claim. And when you respond only by question. That rule prevents you from supplying the agency with consent, jurisdiction, or obligation before any of them have been proven. Most people respond emotionally to the fear of enforcement. That response gives the system what it needs before it has earned it. A proper response means controlling when you respond and how you respond. Until authority is proven, no obligation exists. Until obligation is proven, nothing is owed. In the next video, we'll discuss specific categories of questions that must be asked first, and why asking them in the wrong order destroys position. And as always, may truth reign supreme.